I'm Brian Pfeiffer, AKA the Marketing Meathead, and I'm here
Crestani.
with John Crestani. This is part 3 of a 5-part series. And today is a really important video because a lot of guys out there are kind of like trying to find their way on the internet. And, obviously it's a wave of the future. It's not going anywhere, it's only getting bigger. But how do you find someone that you resonate with that you might want to follow? And I'm not pitching myself, and I'm not pitching John, and John's not pitching John either. We're literally just going to have this discussion because John, when he got into it, he found someone, a mentor of some sort, and he followed him. And when I got into it, I found a mentor. I found John and other mentors. It wasn't just you. And I put a combination of knowledge together to form my knowledge base and become a very successful affiliate marketer and businessman. And how would you suggest to everybody out there to get started in this, and how would you pick a mentor? Like what are some of the things you need to look for?
Dude, that's a great question. And on a side note, guys, no matter what business you're in, having a singular direction to follow is I think a really important quality of anybody who's smart, and it helps you stay focused. Because I see
shiny object syndrome.
Dude, yeah, you nail it on the head. We call it SOS. So we both do a little bit of teaching, and the term is called shiny object syndrome because people just see, ooh, e-commerce, ooh, affiliate marketing,
Amazon FBA,
ooh, Amazon FBA, ooh, cryptocurrency, ooh, altcoins, like, ooh, I'm gonna do an ICO. So people just jump around, right? Like I see it all the time, and the people that jump around just, they'll be like, oh, I made like, I made like $500,000, man, on like some crypto altcoins. And but they won't tell you is 6 months later they just lost $700,000. Like they lost their entire ass and then some. Like I had a buddy of mine. He's like a very successful dude. Sell me into his crypto hedge fund, but and he lost everything.
Oh, it just crumbled.
And his business does 7 figures a year, and he just leveraged himself and other people's money. But because he started chasing shiny objects and when he should, but. The point is, so I think it's a really good idea to find a mentor. How I found my mentor, well, first off, how did you find me?
Well, I was actually trying to think about that today, and there was a time before
This is back in 2015, right?
Yeah, about 2015, I decided to, get into, internet marketing. And I think my first internet marketing event was an event they held in Vegas. Some girl found me on Facebook and was like, it was like the perfect scenario. Like she hit me up on Facebook. I hated my job at the time. I wasn't happy with where I was at in my life, money-wise and the job. And she's like, come to this event, and I'm like, God, I got to work that day. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to it, because internet marketing, I got my first taste of it when I bought a party bus company. And I had all these buses, okay? And these buses were costing me a fortune to have because the insurance and the maintenance and the drivers and all the other crap. Well, what was happening was I got these buses sitting around and I got no leads coming in. So I'm like, I got to figure out a way to get these things filled. I got to figure out ways to get weddings, and I got to get nightclub runs at night and stuff. So that's when I started doing Google AdWords, and that was like my first real taste at internet marketing. I learned how to do Google AdWords on my own because I had no choice. I'm like, I'm gonna go bankrupt if I don't. I got the notes on these buses and the insurances and stuff. So that was my first round, and then that got me into Yelp, and then I was on the Knot, which is another website to generate leads for party buses. So as I started having to build this business, I literally just figured it out on my own. So that was one way to do it because you had no choice.
I put up some free videos on Google AdWords. I have on YouTube.
Oh yeah?
Is that?
No, I don't even think I actually looked at anybody's videos. I went to the route. I actually picked up the phone and I called freaking Google. I said, help me out. And I had them walk me through how to do it. And you know what? It actually worked really well. And then Google kind of went on a little tear, and they raised the prices a lot. Typical stuff when things get saturated. And then that's when I figured out how to run actually ads for the party bus company on Facebook.
Yeah.
And we actually started getting enough leads off Facebook for a lot less money. This was we're talking 2013 when things were a lot cheaper. And that's how I got started. But then, that was just for one business. That wasn't really taking the internet marketing to another level. You know, it was just like literally survival. Like it was survival. I had to figure out how to keep the business, the doors open. And then I went to an internet marketing event.
This guy's a beast.
Well, it was funny because it was a trick. It was like a rapper. This internet marketing event. You know, you're gonna learn all this stuff. There's all these people in it.
And
it
they just pitch you.
There was a pitch for Empower Network. Empower Network.
No.
Yes.
You went to one of those pitches?
Yeah.
Empower Network's a multi-level marketing organization.
Yeah, but it's gone now.
Like,
it doesn't
like
exist.
A pyramid scheme. Like,
but let me tell you about Empower Network and where I actually think it was actually a good thing because number one, it got me into network marketing, which I didn't ultimately pursue. I never actually sold Empower Network to anybody.
Jose Rivera was in that.
Yeah, but there was a lot of good content. And the products that the guy's name was Dave Wood and Dave Sharp, and the products
those guys.
they put out were actually good products. I mean, they actually did really teach you how to like write blog posts, keyword research, you know, a ton of stuff that you really need to know to build an online business. And the products were actually good. I mean, they weren't going to put out a bunch of stuff because if they put out a bunch of crap, that people were going to fail. You know, the failure rate's high enough.
This network marketing company, by the way, became huge.
Huge.
I mean, I think they did $100 million in a year over that. Like, it's like first year, second year, and like third year, they were already like $100 million.
That introduced me to like funnels and, you know, copywriting.
They went viral.
So the fact that, like, you know, I got into the network marketing company, I never really sold it, never really made any money.
What year was this, like 2013?
Yeah, 2000, maybe 14, I think.
Okay,
yeah, right after I moved out to Vegas. And, but I learned a ton. You know, like my knowledge, you know, the internet marketing journey, okay, and we're talking about, you know, mentors in this video. The internet marketing journey, unfortunately, is not like something you're going to pick up overnight. It's just not. It's a series of like, you know, this little bit of knowledge and this little bit of knowledge and this little bit of knowledge, and eventually, over time, you become like somewhat of an expert.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just like anything. You know, you're not going to be good at golfing on your first round of golf. Okay. But you go and golf 25 times in a row over the course of a year. I bet by that 25th time, you're a hell of a lot better than you were on that first time. And that's kind of like internet marketing. So, you know, how do you pick a mentor in this business?
Sure. So, how you pick a mentor? So first off, I'd say placing yourself in the right circles is pretty important. So if you have somewhat of an idea of what you want to pursue, like for me, it was always paid advertising.
Sure.
You know what? This is gonna take me back. So the first way I started learning marketing was I was going to all these meetups. I went to meetups and Eventbrite, and I placed myself in a pretty good location, by the way. I went to college in Dallas. That's where I was. But what I did was I moved to LA because I wanted to be around where the marketing action was. Right. So for me, I put myself physically on the ground of where I wanted to be because I wanted to be the best.
Right.
The best. You don't need to be.
Well, it's kind of like if you're going to Silicon Valley, you want to make apps or something, you move to San Francisco, right?
Boom. So and and you can learn a lot of this stuff through but the first person I met was back in 2009 or 10.
Okay.
2010. He was managing pay-per-click ads. He was the director of pay-per-click advertising. And I had been doing some Google advertising for a business I had been starting and failing. I just was losing money. Just like every day, I'd like be like, let me try to spend
my party bus
$50.
company.
Yeah,
losing money.
I had a tutoring company, and I was selling these tutoring guides for $400, and they were really good tutoring guides. I won't go too deep into that, but let's just say your chances of getting being successful on the tests was greatly increased.
Okay.
So they were worth $400. And I was like, this is crack on wheels. This works. Let me sell these through Google advertising because I was selling them on the streets at the colleges around California, and they were working. Now the thing was, I couldn't get Google advertising to work. I was just like, but the people want them, right? I have something the people want. I'd put up ads and I'd lose money. And I thought,
well, maybe the people weren't able to afford a $400 thing that you were targeting. college students, for example?
I don't know what I was doing wrong. But
something was wrong in the equation.
I was just losing money. So what I ended up doing was I went to all these meetups and events, and this one dude was like, yeah, I'm a director of pay-per-click advertising. And I said, you're a step or two above me.
For sure.
I want to learn from you. And what I did was I actually said, I will work for you. I will work for you. I will work for you, you know, like, do you have jobs available at your company? Can I work under you? Or like, I'll do anything. I'll work for you for free. And he said, well, we have positions available at my company, not in my department. You can start in sales.
Okay.
And I said, I don't want to do cold calling. Like, I suck at sales. Like, how am I supposed to fucking do this? And what I did was I went to work, but I said, was there a chance I could work for you down the line? He says, yeah, maybe when something opens up, like, this would be the best way to start. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go in. I went to interview. They said $1,600 a month base, and you have to make
This is in California?
This is in California.
Not too good.
$1,600, yeah.
Not too good.
$1,600 a month base, and you have to make 120 calls a day. And so I said,
it's like
okay,
boiler room, man.
Whatever. I said, whatever. Send me out there. I want to work in the freaking PPC department.
Right.
So I'm here doing 120 calls a day. I'm getting in at 9, you know, I'm starting my calls at 9, you know, calling till 5, and I said, you know, so, and I said, David, is there a position opening up? Is there a position opening up? And I was sucking at sales. I was slowly getting better, but sucking. But what I ended up doing was I said, you know what? He said, well, if you want to learn from us when you're done with your calls, you can if you get done early. So I said, there's an opening. So I started getting in at 5 a.m. every day. I started waking up at like 4 o'clock, driving to work. I think it was like earlier than 4, but I need to
So you get all your calls in, and then you
get all my calls in by 2 or 3 or something, because I'd call First, I'd call England.
Right.
I started off calling England, and then I was calling East Coast.
3 hours ahead.
Then I was calling Pacific, and then I'd go in the PPC department, and I'd just sit there and I'd watch what they were doing. I just sat there and I just asked questions. I just sat and I watched every day until I actually ended up becoming the director of the pay-per-click advertising department, and I was managing budgets of over $100,000 a day, and I had a couple people working for me underneath. So that was my first mentor, and I offered to work for them for free. And what I did, I was actually managing it got to the point where I was managing a dozen accounts for other account managers. David didn't know about it, but I was just managing everybody's accounts, because I said, yeah, I'll manage your account for you. Just let me, you know, like, I'll just give me access and I'll manage your account. And I got really good at advertising because it was like, and I was doing it for free.
Right.
So
that was your mentor, basically.
That was my first mentor.
Yeah, interesting.
That was my first mentor in paid advertising. I had another mentor in affiliate marketing. Won't go into that. That was Kelly Felix, the Rich Jerk.
Oh, Kelly Felix, the Rich Jerk. That's where I met you.
Really?
Yeah, that's where I met you. 100%. I remember now.
Really?
Yeah. You were I bought the Rich Jerk, and you were in the Rich Jerk product.
Oh shit.
That's where I met you. Yeah, you just reminded me. That's where I met you. That's where I found you.
Oh wow, that was the first. I had never done any training, anything before. He was like, yeah, man, you should, you know, can you, he asked it as a favor, can you teach somebody some of the paid advertising stuff? I've never, and I said, I've never done anything like this before. He's like, oh, just, you know.
Well, I was that guy that bought like,
videos.
I was that consumer at one time that bought like almost every product that if it was a good sales pitch, I was sold.
Yeah.
So, but I was searching for, you know, my online goals. Like my dream was to like become an online marketer, and I'm like, maybe this guy will get me one step closer. Maybe this guy will get me one step closer. And then ultimately, I found you on there. I remember this because you were one of your sales guys hit me up and were like, yo, how'd you find me? You just dropped like $5,000 and you didn't even talk to anybody. Like one of your sales guys didn't even call me. Like, cause I bought in without even like. I
remember that. You were one of the few, we had a couple people and it was just like, what the fuck?
Like 5K just came in.
Yeah, because I was like, so many people loved my training in the Rich Jerk that I was like, okay, like let me try this thing. And I was pretty active. I was like, oh, you know, I'll teach some. I was growing my affiliate network.
Right.
And I said, oh yeah, if you want to learn what I do, it's $5K. And you just sent me like PayPal. And I was like, I don't have any sales pages. And at that point, it was a Google Drive folder. Yeah. All people got access to is a Google Drive folder.
But that's the thing when you know, like
videos.
you resonate with someone and you're looking for a mentor. If you know that one pitch or whatever you want to call it, or you know one YouTube video or whatever, you know you watch it and you're just like, you know, that's my guy. You know, and that's basically what it comes down to. I mean, I don't think anybody can go out in any sport or anything without a coach or even a bodybuilder. You have to have some kind of like direction. And yeah, all the information that we put out at some level is probably out there on the internet, but to try to go out and find it, to try to go out and find it and put it all into one like place and like understand it and like structure it to where it makes sense, impossible.
Oh, dude.
Impossible. So, you know, that's the thing, you know, as far as like finding a mentor, in, you know, today's video, that was it. I mean, you just got to find someone that you resonate with, and, you know, if you feel like that person is going to help you out, you know, go all in with that person. You know, don't be that guy that goes out and, you know, tries to download, you know, your course or my course on a torrent website, because that's not going to get you anywhere. What I found over the years is that
I don't even know what those are.
I know what it is, but I've never downloaded a course off there. I'd rather go out and spend the money with a guy like you, because you know what? I bought a $5,000 course from you. You invited me down to Santa Monica to be part of your group, and in that training, Jordan was there, was another one of my mentors. I met Ronnie Sandlin that day, who's now my buddy, and we do stuff together.
Ronnie is a beast. Dude,
on one campaign with Ronnie, I made $500,000.
Holy
so
fuck.
that meeting,
dude, Ronnie's a crazy genius.
Yeah, so that meeting,
I
spent $5,000 with you. I got the relationship with you, but from that meeting that we had in Santa Monica, I've made over $500,000 just on one connection.
Dude.
So you know that to everybody out there, you know,
and you're friends with Ronnie. You guys are both in Vegas.
We hang out all the time.
Pictures of you guys.
You know, but the thing is what I'm trying to say is that, you know, you need to invest with somebody that you resonate with, and you know, don't go and just try to be that guy that, you know, buys a course and gets the information that returns it. That's not going to get you anywhere. That kind of stuff will immediately make me take you off my email list. I don't even want to email you. I don't ever want to associate with you again, because you know what? I put out good information, as do you. And if someone buys my course, I'm going to promise you that you're going to get your money's worth. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go the extra mile, and if you're not happy, well, then I'm going to try to figure out a way to make you happy. You know what I'm saying? And that's, I think, how we both run our businesses. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, if it's not John or it's not me, you know, there's a lot of other good people out there as well. You know, find someone that just you feel like is going to help you get to the next level.
And I'd like to add, like, I think we have, what I think was really cool about like this message to your audience is that we have two sides of the spectrum too. Is like you were kind of like, look, spend money, you know, spend money, and you can get these connections and go to the masterminds and stuff like that. Whereas I went like a slightly different route. Is I moved my entire life to a different city, and I was just like, I'll work for you for free.
Yeah, so you gave your time. Maybe
nothing
you didn't have
else.
the money, but you gave your time, which is just as valuable of an asset as money. At the time, I had enough money that I could afford to pay the money, and you didn't have the money. You gave your time. So at the end of the day, you know, we invested in ourselves. And that's what really matters to the viewers out there. Is you have to invest in yourself. And I'm not trying to sell you on me or him. At the end of the day, whoever you resonate with, that's who you should invest with. I'm the Marketing Meathead. This is John Crestani. We'll see you in part 4.